Big shout out to Tommy V in Michigan. He was on fire this morning.
Okay, thank you, Tommy V in Michigan. Yes, sir. If you share my prayers.
Tommy V's on. Yeah, we'll jump over there. How about that?
Sir, are you Raymond Chappell?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, you're lucky we're still here because this was scheduled at 9 o'clock, but we're going to go ahead and have Mr. Hardy speak with you about your felony matters. Mr. Hardy, I can give you a little bit more information than the charges here. He has 6 weapons charges. So the first count 1 is a discharge in or at a building. Count 2 is possession of a firearm by a prohibited person. Count 3 is also a firearm possession by a prohibited person. And count 4 is a felony firearm second offense notice. Count 5, also felony firearm second notice. And count 6, felony firearm with a second notice and a habitual offender fourth offense notice on the complaint as well. All right, so Mr. Chappell, this is Mr. Hardy. He's going to talk to you about your legal matter here. So we're going to get both of you into a breakout room so that you can talk confidentially on this. Everything that happens in the courtroom is live streamed. However, everything that happens in the breakout room is not. No one has access to that. Make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right.
A few moments later.
All right, Mr. Chappell, we got you back. We're going to get you arraigned, sir. I do have to advise you again that these proceedings are live streamed to YouTube for public access. We also record it. So your full name I have is Raymond Philip Eugene Chappell. Is that correct?
I'm a junior.
A junior. Okay, thank you. And if you would enter your appearance, please, Mr. Hardy.
Assistant Public Defender Joseph Hardy on behalf of Mr. Chappell.
All right, thank you. Sir, this is file 24-00974FY. This is a complaint, sir, alleging on or about February 17th of 2024 at 426 South Francis Avenue, City of Lansing, Ingham County, Michigan. Count 1 alleges that you did intentionally discharge a firearm in a facility that he or she knew or had reason to believe was a dwelling or a potentially occupied structure in reckless disregard for the safety of another. That is contrary to law, a felony, maximum 10 years and or $10,000. Count 2 alleges that you did possess a firearm when ineligible to do so because you had been convicted of armed robbery, a specified felony that is punishable for more than 1 year, and the requirements for regaining eligibility had not been met. Now, on a separate date, February 20th of 2024, at the same location, there is a count 3 alleging that you did possess a firearm when ineligible to do so because you had been convicted of armed robbery, a specified felony that is punishable by imprisonment for more than 1 year, and the requirements for regaining eligibility had not been met. Also a felony, maximum 5 years and or $5,000 with mandatory forfeiture of weapon or device. Count 4 is a felony firearm second offense, alleging that you did that you did carry or have in your possession a firearm, to wit, a shotgun, at the time you committed or attempted to commit a felony, to wit, a discharge in or at a building. Now, count 5 is identical with the attempted or committed felony, felon in possession, also a second offense, and count 6 is also the felony firearm, also for a felon in possession. So each of these, count 4, 5, and 6 are all felonies. And because of that prior conviction on or about January 25th of 2013, count 4 and 5, 6 have a mandatory penalty, not a mandatory, a maximum penalty of 2 years, of 5 years, 5 years consecutively with and preceding any term of imprisonment for a felony or attempted felony conviction, mandatory forfeiture of weapon or device, but not a pneumatic gun. Additionally, Mr. Chappell, there is also an habitual offender 4th offense notice. Because you have at least 3 prior felony convictions, maximum penalties on those 6 charges may be enhanced. So do you understand these 6 charges and maximum penalties, Mr. Chappell?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And Mr. Chappell, you also have rights, so I'm going to explain those to you. You have the right, sir, to plead guilty, not guilty, or stand mute. You have the right to a trial by a judge or a jury, and at that trial you can present or confront witnesses. Sir, if they would not appear, the court can order them to do so. You also have the right to a lawyer, and if you cannot afford one, one can be appointed for you at court expense. Additionally, sir, you are presumed innocent, and if you are found guilty, it must be beyond a reasonable doubt. You also have the right to remain silent. Anything you say or write can be used against you, and you always have the right to have a lawyer present with you at any time you are questioned. Do you understand those rights, sir?
Yes, I do.
All right, then, Mr. Hardy, is he applying for an attorney today?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, good. Then with that, sir, we have 2 hearings. Your first hearing is a probable cause conference that is scheduled for April 26th at 10 o'clock a.m. There is a preliminary exam that follows May 3rd at 9:30 a.m. Both hearings are set with Judge Cynthia Ward, and that will be on the 6th floor of City Hall. You'll see that the PEC and the PC are scheduled by video, so you will not be transported for that April 26th date, but there's significant anticipation that you would be transported for the preliminary exam. That's not up to me, that's up to the judge, certainly, and the prosecution and the defense. So that notice, sir, is going to be sent to you in the Michigan Department of Corrections. Sir, can you tell me which facility you're in?
RGC quarantine.
Okay.
The habituals, I would just say that he's lived in Michigan his entire life. He's not someone that has a history of failing to appear. And these charges, while they are weapons charges, I'll consider them nonviolent charges. Right now we would just request that the court hand down a low 10% bond if possible, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Okay, so Mr. Chappell, the court does look at two factors. Are you a flight risk? Are you a danger to the public? You do have some prior criminal history, as is evidenced in the habitual. The armed robbery conviction was a conviction from 11 years ago in 2013. And you have that same year a police officer assault resist obstruction. With that, these are serious charges, obviously. And let me just ask you, do you have a release date at this point, barring this matter?
I don't have a release date. I'm actually being held on a violation, but my max date is 2029 of November 21st.
Okay, all right, thank you for that. So, Mr. Chappell, the court has reviewed your criminal history, reviewed the allegations. Obviously, they are allegations, and you certainly have the presumption of innocence. The court at this point will grant a 10% bond. It is a $10,000, 10% bond with conditions, Mr. Chappell. Do not miss any court dates. Do not violate any state or local laws while you're on bond. You are not to possess, purchase, or consume any alcohol or controlled substances without a prescription. You are not to leave the state of Michigan without permission from the court, and you are not to possess or purchase any firearms, ammunition, or dangerous weapons. Additionally, you have to report to pretrial services to set up supervisory supervision while you're out on bond. No assaultive behavior as well. Do you understand those conditions, Mr. Chappell?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Anything else for the record, Mr. Hardy?
Yeah, Your Honor, I just had one question just regarding this arraignment. I believe that the original charges were authorized in February with a new charge added on April 5th. So I guess I was just curious because, this seems like today's date is outside of the typical 72 hours.
Okay, that's something that you would need to bring up with the judge of record.
Understood, Your Honor.
Yep, for sure. Okay. All right, then you're all set, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.